Hi everybody. So today we will be doing a yoga sequence for confidence. And what I really mean when I say confidence is that we are going to be doing yoga sequence that will ask us to take up space physically. And also we will be doing some what's called back bends or heart openers in yoga. Such yoga poses are really useful to help bring you more energy. And so we're going to be working on that just to get ourselves to really be expansive in our bodies and also hopefully in our minds and in our hearts. And so to me, that is what confidence is being able to show up and be your as much of your full self as you can without needing to feel like you have to shrink yourself and make yourself smaller. My hope is that if nothing else, you just get some good stretches and some good movement. So we'll begin in a seat, a comfortable seat, sitting in whatever way you like. We'll just take a moment to ground ourselves. And so make sure that you have a tall spine. Think about bringing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a moment to feel grounded into your seat and noticing where your hands are placed on your legs. Feeling the length in your spine. You can take a moment here and close your eyes or soften your gaze. Letting yourself arrive here in a moment. And just take a moment to notice the general energy in your body right now. Maybe you're feeling a bit more tired. Maybe you're feeling a bit more alert or awake. Just take a moment to observe that. And then taking a moment to notice your breath. Notice what it's like to be breathing. See if you can find your steady inhale and your steady exhale. We'll just be here for maybe 5 more rounds of breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And if your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes. We're going to begin by moving our spine. So you're just going to make some circles here. Go ahead and move in the opposite direction. And then finding your way back into stillness. We'll go ahead and inhale both arms up overhead. Find a tall spine. Exhale, bring the hands down away. Inhale, reach up, hands come up towards each other. And exhale, moving away. 2 more times. And now we're going to switch it up here. So reach up nice and long. We're going to go ahead and turn over to one side. Find a bit of a twist here. As you inhale, find length through the spine. As you exhale, feel the twist in your mid and upper back region. Inhale back to center. Exhale over onto the other side. back to center. Exhale, open into cactus arms, gently squeezing the shoulder blades. And then releasing the arms. So now we're going to do a couple stretches for the neck, especially since we will be working neck and I should say kind of shoulders, especially because later we'll be working on some back bend. So first we're going to start by taking the left ear to the left shoulder. You can stay here, you can bring your hand on your head. And stay here, bring your other hand onto your shoulder as well. And coming back to center, other ear to other shoulder. You can stay here, hand can come on head, and then this other hand can come on the shoulder. And then releasing here. Now we're going to play with protraction and retraction in the shoulder. So you're going to reach your arms out in front and really reach your fingertips straight ahead. You're trying to reach for the wall across from you, or whatever's across from you. And then you're going to go ahead and exhale and bring the shoulders back into the shoulder joints. So reaching, and then bringing it back in. Do this a couple times. You can move with the breath. You can inhale, reach up, or out, I should say, and exhale, reach back in. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach in. A few more times here, just like this. And then we'll do one more, and then we'll release. We'll go ahead and come into a little bit of a rotational movement for the shoulders. You're going to bring your arms out into cactus like this, and we're going to let the palms of the hands come down towards the floor, and then come back up. So you can move with your breath here. If this feels too much for you to do it like this, you can bring your shoulders in a little bit closer, but again, try to keep the shoulders out away from the ears wherever you're at. Do this a few times. Just a little bit of rotation to the shoulders. And now we'll reverse that. So now the back of the hands are going to come back and come forward. Be mindful of where your ribs are, and I say that because I know just as I want to bring the back of my hands back behind me, my ribs want to kind of pop forward. And so use your core to just help you stay neutral there so that you're not really popping forward too much in the ribs. Let's do one more. And then we'll just release there. I'm going to go ahead and inhale one arm up and look over the opposite shoulder. Then we're going to bring everything back down and center. Inhale, other arm up and look over towards the opposite shoulder. And down. So we'll do that a couple times. You can inhale up and turn. Exhale down and center. Inhale up and turn. Exhale down and center. 2 more times. Alright. The last thing we'll do here for the shoulders is we're just going to reach out to the sides. Like you're trying to reach your fingertips to opposite walls or wherever you're at. And then we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a nice hug, bringing one arm over the other. And you can stay here like this, or you can twist your arms for eagle arms, up to you. If you are doing, whether you're doing grabbing opposite shoulders or doing eagle arms, just make sure that you try to let your shoulders relax down away from the ears and kind of level out. And then you can think of reaching your elbows up towards the ceiling. Stay here for a few rounds of breath, feeling into your inhale and your exhale. And then go ahead and release. We'll do the other side. So now it's going to be the arm that was on top last time is going to be on the bottom, and you are giving yourself kind of a hug here. It's a nice place to be. You can stay here, or you can twist your arms. And again, let the shoulders relax down and be leveled as you reach your elbows up towards the ceiling. And then you can go ahead and release. All right, so we're gonna go and do some more movement, mostly for the legs, so that we can get ourselves prepared to do some standing poses. After we do some standing poses where we really practice opening out and taking space, we'll come onto the mat again to do the majority of our back bends. So let's come into a table. And just because I'm on a hard floor, I like to have blanket and padding. It's always a nice idea to make yourself more comfortable where you can. So have your wrists underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. We'll go through our rounds of cat and cow to begin. So on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. On an exhale, round the back and drop the head. Moving with your breath, just beginning to feel into your spine here. Let's just do 2 more rounds. And then from our table, I'm going to go ahead and reach the right foot back and lift it up. And then we're going to reach the opposite arm out. And take a moment here to try to feel into your core. You may want to imagine like you're trying to draw your belly button towards your spine. And go ahead and release down. We'll do the other side. Left foot comes back, opposite arm out. And release. So now we're going to bring a little bit more into this, just to kind of play with finding length in the back leg and trying to feel a little bit stronger in the core. That's what's going to help you kind of stay balanced. If you find that this is too difficult, you can always just have 2 hands down on the ground and play with the legs, lifting the legs up and down, because that's really what I'm trying to encourage for you here right now. So right leg comes back, and opposite arm comes out. And then you're going to think about taking the leg out to the side, and the arm is also going to come out to the side. So you're kind of making a diagonal shape in your body with the leg and the arm that's out. And then come back into center. Do that again. Out, and in, out, and in. Go ahead and release down. We'll do the other side. Left leg comes back. Opposite arm comes out. And then you're going to bring the arm out to the side. Leg also comes out to the side. So you're making diagonal from here through the leg that's lifted. Back to center. Out. And center. Out. And center. And then release. Next, we're going to do some elbow to knee movement. So you're going to bring right leg out, opposite arm out. On an exhale, you're going to reach them together. They don't necessarily need to touch, but they could. Inhale them back out. Let's do that again 4 more times. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now we'll release, do that on the other side, so that's just 5 times on the other side as well. So reaching out long, coming in, reaching out long, coming in, 3 more times. stretch out the legs a little bit. So we're going to come into a downward facing dog just to really feel some stretching in the legs. So we're going to make sure our fingers are spread nice and wide, and you want to press down into your knuckles and the pads of your fingertips to take the weight off the wrists. Another thing you can do, another sort of variation that may feel better on some people's shoulders, is to take your middle ring and pinky fingers, so these three fingers, out towards the edge of the mat, so that those fingers are off the mat slightly and only your thumb and your pointer finger are on the mat. And sometimes that just is a better form for some people. I have found that for me it just kind of depends on the day. But feel free to try that as well if you would like to, and then you can come back to the regular form if you prefer. We're just going to tuck the toes, lift the knees 2 or 3 inches from the mat, turn on the core right now, and then go ahead and shift the hips back up towards the ceiling. Let the top of your head come to the mat and find a nice long spine. And here you can pet out the feet, bending one knee, straightening the other. And feeling into the hamstrings. You can also sway your hips side to side. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and walk the hands back towards the feet. So you're in a standing forward fold. And you can take a moment here if you want to feel a stretch in the back of your legs to straighten out the legs, or you can have a little bit of a bend of the knees to kind of feel more of a little back. Up to you. You can also pedal out here. So you can straighten one leg while having the other knee bent, and then switch sides if that feels good. And go ahead and press into the feet. Inhale into a halfway lift. Spine is nice and long here. Your heart is dropping between the shoulders. Hands can come onto your hips or out into a T as you press up into standing. So we'll do a few standing poses here. Really just practicing the idea of taking up space. So we're going to go ahead and take the legs wide. We're going to go through a warrior sequence first, and triangle as well. And then from here, you can go ahead and bring one foot out towards the short end of the mat. Go ahead and bend your knee, and reach your arms out. And you can stay here like this, or you can flip the palms to relax the shoulders down. And you can also flip them back over. So keep bending the knee towards the pinky edge of the foot. And also begin to notice the weight in your feet. You may very well feel it more to the front foot, so make sure you also step into the back foot here. And continue to breathe. Inhaling through the nose, exhale out through the nose. And now we'll go ahead and twist in front. So legs are exactly the same, but we're just twisting in front here. We're going to reach the arms up overhead now. And take a moment to kind of feel into the sides of your body as you do that. And then come back to center. And then we're going to do that again 2 more times. Twist. So your shoulders are facing towards the shore of the mat. Legs are exactly the same though. Hands come up overhead. Back to center. 1 more time. Twisting. And reaching back. And lowering down the arms. We're going to reach the arm out in front until you can't reach anymore. And then bringing it down, you can press your elbow on your thighs, or you can bring it further down and bring your other hand up. Extend inside of the stretch here. I'm going to open open more into this top shoulder, you can think about bringing your hand slightly back. And then press into the feet, come back to center. Flip the palm and reach back, keeping the bend in the knee for your extended side ankle stretch. And find your way back to center. Lowering the arms. Gonna pivot the feet to do the other side. And so same thing here. Bending in the knee. Shoulders are above hips, reaching out. You can flip the palms to relax the shoulders. And flip them back over. Pressing into both feet. Make sure this knee is going to go out towards the pinky edge of the foot. Finding your way into your little bit of a twist here. So we're going to twist so that the shoulders are facing towards the foot, short end of the mat, and your arms are reaching up overhead. Everything in the lower body is exactly the same. We're just playing with the upper body and the arms. Open back out. Reach back up, twisting. Last time, opening out. And then twisting and reaching up. Then maybe feeling a bit into your obliques as you do this. And then coming back out. Releasing the arms. Reach this arm out forward until you can't reach anymore. And then reaching down. And over, you can stay here, or you can bring your hand down towards the ankle, towards the floor. And finding your way back into warrior two. Bring this arm down, bring this one up, find length, and then leaning back. And then coming back to center and release. You're going to pivot the feet so that you're going to go back to the first side. So we did our warrior and we kind of really opened up. And this time we are going to be coming into our triangle sequence. And so both your legs are going to be straight this time. You want to make sure, however, that you have a micro bend in this knee, which just means that it's a bend that's so small that you couldn't see that there was a bend, but it's just there to help protect your knee joint. And so find a little bit of a micro bend. You're going to reach both arms out. We're going to do something similar to before. We're just going to reach out till we can't reach anymore, and we're going to let it fall down wherever it falls. Whether it's closer to your knee or your ankle, that's fine. And this arm is going to come back for our triangle. Press into the back foot. Make sure you have both feet as evenly weighted as you can make it. Then we're going to go ahead and come back up. And we're going to come into our exalted triangle. So this arm is going to come, palm's going to face up. You're going to reach back. Then we're going to come back into this shape that doesn't really have a name, but it's kind of like you're about to do triangle. And you're going to twist forward now, just like we kind of did before, but the arms are going to stay out like this instead of lifting up. And then you're going to also lift the back heel. So we're changing so that we're going to come into a little bit of a lunge here. So this knee is now going to be bent. And just take a moment here to see what it's like to be in this little bit of a lunge here. Surprise lunge. Feel strong in the legs. So make sure that this leg is as straight as you can make it. It's okay if that feels like too much, but the reason I encourage that is if you can straighten this leg, you can perhaps feel into more of a hip flexor stretch. Make sure your core is nice and strong. So imagine like you're zipping up in the lower belly. And we're going to go ahead and come back. And we're going to do that all out on the other side. So pivoting the feet, reaching the arms out, have a micro bend here. Reach out, reach down for triangle. And so I didn't always mention it, but as a reminder again, when you do anything with this hands up, if you want to open up a bit more of the shoulders, you can think about reaching that arm and that hand back towards the wall behind you a little bit more. Opens it up just a little bit more. Press into both feet. And then come back to center. We're going to flip the palm. Reach back. Exalted triangle, and come back into that kind of triangle shape, triangle legs. And now we're going to reach this arm over here, so both arms are facing towards the front leg, and then we're going to go ahead and slowly bend this knee as we also lift the back heel, so you're finding yourself in a little bit of a lunge here. Again, you want to maintain this stretch here, or try to feel the stretch here through the hip flexor by straightening the back leg as best as you can. Being strong and weighted down into the front leg as well. And then opening back out, and then releasing the arms. All right, so next thing we're going to do here is come into a little bit of a what's called goddess pose. And so spine is tall, and we're going to make sure that the legs are wider than hip width apart, but it doesn't have to be quite as big as the warrior and triangle legs. We're going to bend the knees out towards where the toes are going, keeping the spine long, pelvis is level. So you really want to make sure that you are zipping up in the lower belly here. And you can bring your arms out here. And then when we come up, press into the heels and push the hands out away. You're pushing two walls away. You're pushing people away from you. And then come back down, and then up and press. So we're going to do that with the breath. We're going to inhale down, exhale, up and press away. Inhale down, exhale. 3 more times. And then release. Then from here, we're going to shift the feet so that all 10 toes are pointing forward. And we're going to come into a wide forward fold. Again, we're going to practice taking up space here by bringing the arms up overhead so the limbs are nice and long. You're going to fold in the hips, reach the hips back, and then go ahead and bring the hands down. If you need to have a block or something underneath, you can. You can also have a slight bend in the knees. You can also bring the hands down towards the ankles as well. And breathing here. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Feeling the weight of your limbs. And then we're going to make our way back up. So be rooted in the feet. You can bend the knees, bring the hands to the hips, and use your core to help you reach back up. Okay, so now we're going to begin to do some stuff on the mat. And my sort of suggestion for you is to maybe have a blanket, simply because that can help with just making things a little bit more comfortable in the body. You do not need to have a blanket though. So the first thing we're going to do is actually going to come back down into a downward facing dog and do a pigeon pose, just a little bit of something for the hips. And then after that, we'll come onto the belly. So we'll inhale both arms up overhead. Exhale, final forward fold. a three-legged dog. So you're gonna bring your right foot up towards the ceiling. You can roll your hip up towards the ceiling if you like. You can also bend the knee. It can be a nice hip opener. But you can also just do a regular downward dog or a three-legged dog if you'd rather not do this. Then we're gonna take the knee towards the wrist, like so. And you're gonna slide the back leg back. So you're in your pigeon. Feel free to stay upright like this, or you can lower yourself down. There are people who can do other variations of pigeon that, include bending the back knee and grabbing the back foot. And so if you are one of those people and you know how you like it, you can take it that far. But for me, I'm just gonna stick to this more sleeping pigeon style for today. Taking a moment to breathe and feel into your hip and glute area. If there is any discomfort here with the hip being away from the mat, from the floor, you can always take a block or rolled blanket underneath it for some support. That can be nice, so you can always do that as you need to. Go ahead and switch sides now. So we're going to come back up through that downward facing dog and that three-legged dog on the same side. Again, you can bend the knee towards the ceiling if you'd like. We'll bring that down. We'll do the other side. Left leg comes up. Hip rolls up towards the ceiling. You can bend the knee if you'd like. And then knee comes towards wrist. Back leg slides back. And you can either stay upright or lower yourself down. And then we'll go ahead and come back into that downward facing dog, three-legged dog. And bring the foot back down. And we'll come into a table here. And we'll take a quick break in a child before we do anything else. So forehead can come to mat, arms can come out long. Another variation you can try here that might be interesting for the shoulders is walk your fingertips up towards the front of your mat. So you're a little bit more active there. And you could do a stretch to the side of the body and then walk your hands out to a little bit of a Y shape. And then walk your hands back to center. You're going to keep the left hand where it's at. You're going to reach your right behind you and have the palm of the hand be up. And we'll do the opposite. Reach the right hand up towards the front of the mat as you let your left hand come back towards your foot with the palm up. And then we'll just reach both hands in front and find our way up into a seat. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a shoulder stretch. And it is more of a yin style pose, but we're not going to be holding it for a super long time. And it might be handy to have a blanket. I'm going to place the blanket just out towards the top of my mat, because this is where my head and my shoulders are going to be at. and so I just want to have something for it to rest on. So you're going to first come onto your belly, and you're going to reach your left arm out into a T or into a half cactus. It's going to be more intense than a cactus, so I like to just do it in a T usually, but it also just kind of depends on what you need for the day. And you're going to have this other hand be by your side, just to kind of help you adjust. You're going to lift this hip from the mat, and your hips are going to stack. So your legs can be long here, or you can bend this knee, or you can bend both knees like this. So it's really up to you with where you want your legs to go. There's not really a right or wrong way, it's whatever's most comfortable. This hand is here to help you adjust how much of your weight you want to place on that shoulder. And just so you know, that shoulder behind me is out in a T, and my palm is facing down. Just take a couple rounds of breath here. And then we'll go ahead and come back down onto the front of the body. And now we're going to reach the opposite side out and do this for the opposite side. Same thing goes here. This hip stacks on top of the other, and the legs and the footing can be however you want it to be. Other hand is going to just be right in front of you to help you support yourself, and you can choose if you want a little bit less or a little bit more. And then coming back onto the belly. Next thing we're going to do here is a back bend. Actually, several back bends. So we're going to come into Sphinx pose to start. A very simple place to be. And you're just going to have your elbows beneath your shoulders. Think about letting your heart shine forward. And if this bothers your low back, you can bring feet wider. But you want to make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears. And then we'll go ahead and release down. We're going to come into a cobra. So you're going to have your hands to the outside of your shoulders. Your legs are behind you. And you just want to make sure that your feet are relaxed, but the tops of your feet are really pinning down onto the mat. So you should feel your knees lifting up from the mat. And you want to make sure that your core is strong. So you want to think about drawing your one up towards your belly button as you continue to press your hips and your pelvis down into the mat. Now we're going to lift up chest and head. And then release. Come up one more time, just like that. Everything is pinned down into the legs. Legs are also nice and active with the knees lifting up from the mat. Spine is long, and float up. And then from here, if you'd like to, you can kind of press into your hands a little bit more and just see what it's like to come up. But be mindful of your low back, that you're not straining it. So really engage your core here. And then lower yourself down. Bend the knees, shift side to side. So now we're going to move with both legs and head, or I should say upper and lower body is what I mean by that. And so what I like to do, there's a lot of different ways to do what we're about to do, but I like to have my arms in cactus arms. And I'm going to find that same core engagement. It's even more important now. The thing about back bends, as lovely and beautiful as they are, is you can easily hurt your low back. So we're going to try to avoid that. And I'm going to lift in my upper body, and I'm going to lift in my lower body. Then I'm going to reach my hands back down towards my feet. I'm going to come back towards where I started, and then I'm going to lower myself. So we're going to take that a few times. And so I encourage you to find a breathing pattern that makes sense to you. So you can exhale up, inhale, exhale, and inhale lower. Exhale up, inhale, exhale, inhale lower. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale lower. Do that 3 more times, just at your own pace and at your own breath pattern. I just gave one that I find is useful for me personally. And once you are complete, we're going to go ahead and take ourselves back into a child's. And for this child's variation, you're going to bring your arms out to the sides. And then you can walk your hands back towards the feet. Have your palms lifted, let your shoulders kind of drop in. And then we're going to go ahead and come onto the belly to do one more thing. And then after that, we're going to come into another back bend that you may find that using a wall is more helpful. And then we'll just do some stretches to cool down for Shavasana. So for the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to come onto the belly. And you want to make sure that your core is nice and strong. So you really want to think of zipping up in the lower belly or drawing the pubic bone towards up the belly button. And then you're going to bend the knees. And so there's different variations you can do. So the first one is that you might just come up into a cobra here with the knees bent. That could be a lot for you. The other variation, or I guess the next variation you can do, is grab your foot. Again, really important to use the might of your core here, so you make sure that you don't over-exaggerate the lower curve of your back, which is already curvy enough, but it likes to participate even when it doesn't need to. And then another important thing here is you want to imagine that you're trying to hold a little ball between your thighs, between your knees, so that when you come up, your knees don't splay apart. So once you got all that in mind, and really use the strength of your core, you can lift up upper body and lower body as much as you can. And then lower down. We'll do that one more time, whichever variation you'd like. That one I just did for bow pose, or this one where I'm just going to have my knees bent and I'm going to come up into a low cobra. So engaging yourself, strong core, and lifting. And lowering. All the way down wherever you're at. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and find our way back up. If you needed to take a moment to come into a child, or to bend the knees and shimmy them side to side, shimmy your feet side to side towards the ceiling, you can. I'm going to go ahead though and show you how to do camel pose and the different variations of camel. So, I'm going a blanket, because it's nice to have a blanket for the knees. I'm going to show you 3 ways to try to do camel. So the first way is pretty simple. You're just going to be on your knees. And you're going to have your hands behind you, clasped together. And you're going to roll your shoulders down your chest, lift the heart up towards the ceiling, maybe tilt your chin up towards the ceiling if that feels okay in the neck. We're not really trying to strain or look back, but we're really trying to open up through the heart. That's the first variation. The second variation is you're going to come up, and this is where a wall might be useful for some. So you want to keep your hips facing forward when you're up on your knees like this. And so if you're in front of a wall, you can really make sure that the hips are still glued to the wall and that they can't kind of draw back when you go back. Same thing here, legs are strong. It's important here, it might be useful here to imagine you're hugging the inner midline just to keep the legs strong. So can you imagine like there's a bar block between your thighs, you're going to keep it together. Same thing here with the arms, rolling your shoulders down your back and looking up. Strong core as well. Always strong core and all the back bend. That's the second variation. The last variation that I'm going to show you, I mean, there's a lot of different variations to do all of these, and there's different props you can use. You have 2 blocks. You can place the blocks by your feet. If you don't have blocks, you might not need them. Or what I like to do is, so from here, I'm lifting up my heels by tucking my toes. Same thing here. I'm going to imagine that there's a wall in front of me. You can literally just do this in front of a wall. Hips coming forward, spine is nice and tall. So you kind of almost want to imagine like, when you're on a mat, it's kind of like that. So what we're doing here, the wall is just for you to imagine like there's a wall in front of you, or like you're on a mat, you're on your belly, your spine is nice and long, you're pulling up in the lower belly, the core. And then you're just going to start by lifting up through the head and the chest. Your arms are going to come behind you. Keeping that strength in the core, you're reaching back. Keep the hips coming forward. This is a full-on camel here. And then you can go ahead and slowly come back out so that, just like when you're on the mat, you start by coming up slow, like lowering slowly. So coming up slowly, and then gently coming back down and doing a child's pose. So that is the 3 ways to do camel, and I'm going to give you time for that by just saying practice whichever one feels most appropriate for your body. I have found that doing full camel can feel so expansive and so good, but there are other people who find that doing that full-on camel can feel really nauseating or really scary, and it doesn't feel good. Back bends, especially that camel kind of pose, can be really intense. So pick one you would like to do. Go ahead and do it now, or any time really you feel like you want that burst of expansion through the heart and through the back. We are now going to slowly shift to doing some poses before we do our shavasana. And so once you've completed the camel you like, and you're doing this at home, so feel free to pause me and do what you want as long as you want, and then replay it or whatnot. That's all good. We're gonna come onto our back now. And so we're going to come down one vertebrae at a time. And then once we're on our back, we're just going to do a few movements for the core and a little bit of twisting for the spine. So you're just going to have your knees above your hips, and then your arms can be by your sides. And we're just going to do some toe taps. You're going to tap one foot down, reach it back up. Other foot down, reach it back up. You can move with the breath. You can inhale down, exhale, come back to center. Inhale down, exhale, back to center. Let's just do one more round like this. And
and then you can try it with both legs. If it's too much, you can come back to the first one. When you're doing both legs, know that if you bring the feet further out, it's going to be a little bit more intense. And just being mindful of your back. We want to really find a strong core there. So be mindful of that lower back curve. You can kind of think about tilting your back so that you're trying to, imagine like there's a little egg underneath where your low back curve is, and like you're trying to squish it. Just do 2 more of these. And then hug the knees in towards the chest. When you hug your knees in towards the chest, you can also roll side to side. And that feels good for the low back. I know that when I do this, I feel like it's just a reclined version of child's pose. We're going to go ahead and bring both feet onto the mat. And arms to come out into a T. And we're just going to let both knees fall over towards the left. And so with this, you can also choose to lift the legs up and let them fall over towards the left. Or you can choose to have the feet on the mat, but the feet to make sure they're wide and let them fall over. So different places you can be for that. And look over towards your opposite hand as well. Find your way back to center, and we'll do that on the other side. So letting the knees fall over towards the right, looking over towards your left. And then coming back to center. Last thing here is just going to be something for the hips. So let the knees come apart, so it's the feet together. If you'd like to do something different, you can press the soles of the feet together, feel that tension, and then just release it. And sometimes when I do that, I find my hips release a little bit more. That can feel kind of nice. And then whenever you're ready, find your way into your preferred form of Shavasana. So you can come into legs up the wall, or you can lie down as a traditional Shavasana. I am going to quickly guide you in your Shavasana. So wherever you're at, take a moment to make yourself comfy and begin to release as much as you can. Head, neck, back, arms, buttocks, legs, and feet. And feeling all the points of contact where your body touches the mats underneath you. If you're doing legs up the wall, you may notice the props of the wall or any other props underneath you. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze, maybe unclenching in the jaw, relaxing the tongue, letting your eyes sink a bit deeper into your eye sockets. And staying here for as long as you like. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you felt a little bit more expansive. I recommend you stay in your Shavasana at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes or more if you have the time. Really just giving yourself permission to release as much as you can. Thank you so much. Gratitude to you.